Molweni, greetings everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Kamala Muluki Tawakwamaka. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So, in this video, I had to bring a question paper, guys, because I understand we've been doing lessons. But some of y'all just want to practice now and see if just test your knowledge. So, in the courtesy of the Eastern Cape Department of Education, I had to find this paper. Thank you so much to Abantu Basepondweni. But nah. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is Agricultural Sciences paper 1. So I'll come with paper 2. So this is grade 11. So now you have been learning, we have been doing all the lessons, you have been studying, but now you want to start preparing for your final exams. I know kwabanye abantu it may be seen as if it's like exams are still far, but like guys, exams are around the corner. Like it's now September, so you only have like October, then November, you are writing your final exams. So, yeah, try to practice now and see all the topics that you have covered throughout the year. If you manage to answer them, then see where you need to improve. So basically, that's what this video is all about. We are trying to test our knowledge. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's not waste time. So basically, the first thing that you need to do is to read your instructions carefully. So the first page after the front page, so obviously that is the second page, you will have your instructions and information. So you need to read your instructions carefully. So if you look at this one, like this question paper consists of two sections, namely section A and section B. So you know what to expect, right? You have two sections. So usually the first sections, it's just short questions, and then the second sections, it's long questions. Then the second instruction there states that you need to answer all the questions in the answer book. So you'll be provided the answer book, you need to answer all the questions. Start each question on a new page. So, what does this mean? It means that if you write your question 1, that is from question 1.1.1 up to question 1.4, right? Because question 1 will have different subsections, right? So, now it means that if you're done with questions in section A or question 1, then you need to start now the new question on a new page. So start question 2 on a new page, right? Fine. Then you proceed answer the number the answers correctly according to the numbering system used in the question paper. So use the exact number that is stated on the question paper. So if 1.1 states that, then answer that, right? So don't change the numbering system on the question paper, right, or on your answer sheet. Then question 5 or instruction 5, I'm sorry, you may use a non-programmable calculator. Obviously, this is agriculture, guys. We calculate. There are a lot of calculations that we do. So use a non-programmable calculator. Number 6, show all calculations, including formula, where applicable. And obviously, last but not least, write neatly and legibly. So make sure your writing is neat. Make sure as a marker, I am able to see it. Make sure as a teacher, I'm able to see your handwriting, right? So it doesn't mean you have to have a nice handwriting, as long as it's neat and legibly, as long as I can read it. Even myself, I don't have a nice handwriting, but at least you can read my handwriting. Okay, now let's start with our questions. So let's start with section A. Question 1 1.1 usually it's a multiple choice question. And now this multiple choice question, what you need to do, you only write the letter, guys. Only the letter next to the question number. Only the letter. Don't give, oh, okay. Now let's look at this one. The number of protons in the nucleus of an atom is indicated by an dash dash number. Okay, so now you've got four options there. You have to select one. So you've got A, the mass, you've got B, atomic number, you've got C, neutron number, or D, electron number. So what is the correct answer there? So again, now this takes back, this is term one, guys. We've done chemistry in term one. So the number of protons inside the nucleus of an atom is basically indicated by the number of, or by the atomic number. So B. So the atomic number also refers to the number of protons. So B is the correct answer there. So you only write B. So you will say 1.1.1 B in capital letters, guys. Fine. Then 1.1.2, two or more forms of the same element that contain an actual number of protons but different number of neutrons. What is that? Two or more forms of the same element that contain, this is term one work, guys, so take your time. So the correct answer there, it's D, it's isotopes, right? So don't worry, at the end of each section, I'm going to put up the correct answers. So don't worry about that, right? Then we move. Compounds differ from mixtures because because I'm sorry about that. I had to increase the font size on my screen. Okay, so 1.1.3, compounds differ from mixtures because one, substances in a compound can be separated by filtration. Two, composition of a compound is fixed and invariable. Three, looks and behaves differently to the elements of which it is comprised. Four, compounds are made up of different molecules bound together. So you're going to choose the correct combination. So you've been given option 1, 3, and 4. That is the first one. Then on the second one, you have been given option 2, 3, and 4. On the third one, you have been given option 1, 2, and 3. The last one, option 1, oh, I'm sorry, the third one, option 1, 2, and 4. The last one, option 1, 2, and 3. Okay, which one is the correct one? So compounds differ from mixtures because. Okay. Now, this needs to take you back to your knowledge of compounds. What are compounds? We start there. What are mixtures, right? So what I can tell you is that, one, obviously, the compounds will differ from mixtures because their composition is fixed and invariable, right? And also, again, um, they behave differently to elements, right? And the last one that I can select from these ones is that compounds are made up of different molecules that are bound together. Because remember, now we're talking about elements. So for me, I would choose the letter B, but it's up to you, right? Okay, let's continue. The relevant proportion of sand, silt, and clay in a given soil sample, right? What is the correct letter there? Okay, take your time. So now this is your time to be able to define what is meant by structure, what is meant by density, what is meant by volume, what is meant by texture. So this is work that you have done in um, term 1. This is term 1 work. So what is the correct term? The relevant proportion of sand, silt, and clay. Now, if you have had a chance to meet up with me in person, if I have taught you this, obviously you know what the answer is. Obviously, the answer there is letter D. Texture is defined as the relevant relative proportion of sand, silt, and clay in a given soil sample. Now let's continue. Okay, let's look at question 1.1.5. Okay, light or whitish color in the soil is an indication of. So now, this again takes you to the soil color. This is something that you have done in at the end of term 1 and beginning of term 2, obviously. So the whitish color, what does it indicate? What does that color indicate? Obviously, that color indicates the presence of carbonates in the soil. So your correct answer there is B. You write that one in capital letters. You only write the letter next to the question number. So you're going to write 1.1.1 1.1.5. Then you write the letter B because that is the correct answer. Right? Now let's look at the next one. The following statements are true about the bulk density of soil. Right? So number 1, it is inversely related to the porosity of soil. Organic soils have lower bulk density. The lesser the pore space in soil, the lower the bulk density. The more the pore space in the soil, the lower the bulk density. So what do you think is the correct combination? So now we need to choose the combination. So what is true now about the bulk density? So this is something that you have done with your teacher. Now remember, I have told you that I am not going to come here and talk about things that you haven't done in class. Right? So my lessons are just refresher courses, refresher lessons. So let's look at the correct combination now, right? Now, one thing that is true, I'm gonna select one, right? Number 1, the bulk density of the soil is inversely related to the porosity of the soil, right? Then the other thing is that organic soils have lower bulk density. And the other one is that now the more the pore spaces in the soil, then the lower the bulk density. So I believe that number C would be the correct one. I think the memo will also agree with me. Now let's move to the next one, right? I hope you have your pen and paper. I hope you are writing right now. Okay. Then the diagram below indicates the temperature variation. Okay. Then now when it comes to temperature variation, when it increases with the increase in soil depth, that is number 1, or is it more at a depth of 200 millimeters? So now you look at this diagram. This is what is required of you. Study this diagram. Then number C is less of a surface, or D, decreases with the increase of depth. Now, so you need to study this diagram. Write the correct answer next to it. Right? Now let's continue. Then we've got 1.1.8, right? The following is not a factor causing breakishness in soil. So this is also something you have done in term 2. A, use of fertilizer containing sulfur. B, the use of groundwater for irrigation. C, presence of sodium carbonates. D, poor soil drainage. So what is the correct one? So this is not a factor of breakishness. Now, again, we highlight the keyword there, which is the breakishness in the soil, right? Breakishness is the keyword there. Which one is not a factor that would cause that in the soil, right? So obviously, that is the use of groundwater in irrigation. Okay. No, I think I've made a mistake there. Let's look at that again. So what is breakishness? So you start there. So what would cause breakishness? And what would not cause breakishness? So the use of fertilizer that containing sulfur. I think that is the correct one. But again, we're gonna see when we look at our memo at the end of this section. 1.1.9, the importance of nitrogen in the soil includes the A, reduction of poisonous substances in the soil, B, slowing down of oxidation process, C, germination of seeds, and D, reaction with inaccessible compounds in the soil. So write the correct answer on your answer sheet, then let me know. Then 1.1.10 dash 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 are the examples of microorganisms in the soil. So again, now microorganisms refer to organisms that we cannot see with our naked eye. So obviously with bacteria we cannot see that with our naked eye, but protozoids, well, can you see protozoa, guys? I don't think so. But if you look at moles, like moles are macro. Macro means that something you can see with your naked eye. Macro means big, right? So these are organisms that you can see with your naked eye, right? Then let's continue with question 1.10. So the correct answer there for question 1.1.10 is C. Those are moles. So these are examples of macroorganisms that are found in the soil. Let's continue now with question 1.2. Now, what to expect on your question 1.2? Now, take this time. You can pause this video here and you just try to answer. Now, question 1.2, it's always match column A and column B. So what you need to do is you read from question column B, then you match with column A. But when it comes to your answer, you only write. It's either A only or B only, or both A and B or none. That's the only thing you write. So those are, like, guys, these are easy marks that you have to get, right? Okay, let's look at this one. The group made up of carbon atom joined to an oxygen atom by a double bond. Guys, I have a video on this. What is that group? Group made up of a carbon atom joined to an oxygen atom by a double bond. So that is a carboxyl group. So what you're gonna do here is gonna write B only, right? That's the only thing. You're not gonna write carboxyl. B only, because it only applies to B. Because remember, you have been given two options there. On 1.2.1, you've been given two options, so you're only going to write one answer. Fatty acids commonly found in animals and have single bonds between carbon atoms. So what are those? Is it polysaturated, monosaturated? What are those? What then now this takes you back in understanding. What do we mean by monosaturated fatty acids or polysaturated? So does this apply to both of them or none of these ones? Right? So now do your research, write the correct answer and let me know. High degree of cohesion and low erodibility. Right? So this has to do with soil. Right? So which one is the correct one? You have fine texture and low and coarse texture, high degree of cohesion and low erodibility. So A only there is the correct answer. 1.2.4 influences the storage and the movement of soil air. Which one of the two influences the storage? Is it the soil depth or is it the pore size distribution? Or is it both or is it none of them? I think it's both. Right? Then we've got hydrogen ions bound onto soil particles and none really exchanged. Which one is this one? Which one is this one, guys? Which one is the correct one? So A only is the correct answer. So the last one, the hydrogen ions bound into solid particles and not really exchanged. So 1.2.5, what is the correct answer? Give me the correct answer there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So now 1.3, you have to give one word or the term for each of the following descriptions. So what is expected of you there, guys? You just give the term only or the word only. Don't write the whole sentence or try and explain everything. Don't do that. Yes, we understand it's 2 marks, but don't write everything, right? Just give that one word, then you're done. You move on to the next one. So the amino acids which can be synthesized by the body, which one is that one? So now you remember there are different amino acids and you have done this. This is on during term 1. So basically, guys, what you will do in this paper, you will cover things done in term 1 and term 2, right? So 1.3.1, which amino acids can be synthesized by the body? So these are non-essential amino acids. So the correct term there that you can put is just non-essential, right? The disaccharide formed from glucose and galactose molecules, what is that one? So write that one down. So this is also something you have done in term 1. The process whereby molecules of a substance collect on the surface of another substance, right? What is that one? Process whereby molecules of a substance collect on the surface of another substance, right? What is that one? So try and write your answer. Obviously, I've told you that I'm gonna put up the answer sheet or the memo at the end of this section, right? Okay. Then the point where plants fail to recover regardless of being watered. Yo! So now, kuwe ke lowo mntase, you are watering your plants, trying to resurrect them from the dead, but still they fail to recover. What is that point? What do we call that point? Whether you water them every day, you are trying to help them to recover. So that is basically the point of permanent wilting. So it's a permanent wilting point. So I'm not going to tell you all the answers. The removal of salts from the soil surface by physical or mechanical means. What is the answer? What is the answer? It starts with an S. So take your time. Take your time. Let's continue 1.4. Now this is mostly on soil. So here they will underline the wrong word. So you have to change that word and put the correct one. However, when you are writing your answers, you don't have to write the whole sentence. You just have to give us that particular word, that wrong word that has been underlined. So let's look at this one. The dash formula, I'm saying the dash formula because that chemical formula is the wrong one there. So we don't want it there. Is a graphical representation showing how the atoms are arranged. So how are the atoms arranged? What is the graphical representation? So obviously the structural formula. So the only term that we need there is the structural, right? The G horizon. So in this question, guys, in this section, you like the answers or the underlined terms are always hints. They always give you hints. They are not far from the answer. So that's one thing you need to understand. So the E horizon is characterized by the absence of organic matter due to a high degree of leaching. So again, now the correct or the key term there or the key word there, one we've got organic matter, then we've got leaching. So what is characterized now by the absence of organic matter due to high degree of leaching? It's the E horizon, guys. All right, salt dash. So we've got decline there. Obviously, we know that is the wrong word there. We don't want that decline because it has been underlined. There's a situation in soil where the concentration of nutrients is present in parts of soil and absent in some. So what is that? So try, think about it. You have done this, guys. 1.1.4, the production formed when plant and animal residues are decomposed by soil microorganisms is. Here we have organic matter. Obviously, we know that this is the wrong one. So now remember, I have always told you that the answer is always close, guys. It's just J, nearby. It's the relative of what is there. So you will always know. If it's not organic matter, what is it? Right? Okay, fine. Let's continue. 1.4.5. A soil form system is used in South Africa to classify the soil. What kind of a system do we use in South Africa to classify the soil? Okay, think about it. We have done this, you have done this in class. Okay, so now let's look at the answers. So from here, you can pause. Then you note your answers, mark yourself if needs be, then we continue to the section. So here are our answers. So now remember this section. This is like, guys, 45 marks. Section A is always 45 marks. Question 1, which is the multiple choice, 20 marks. The second question, 10 marks. The third question on like question 1, 10 marks. Then the last one, 5 marks. Always from grade 10 to grade 12. So this is the structure. This is the structure. It's not gonna change. The structure will remain like this. It's not gonna change. It's not going anywhere. This is how we're gonna test you. Even if I happen one day to be one of the people who examine, like one of the examiners. This is how we're going to test you. We're not going to change this. Nah? So look at this. Pause here. Check your answers if they are correct. Mark yourself. Then we continue. Let's look at question 2. This is section B. So now you have been given a diagram there. So question 2. It's all about basic agricultural chemistry. So you have been given a structure. You have been given questions. Now, the diagram below shows the structure of a substance that is important in agriculture. Right. Okay. Think, guys, this one. Even a learner in grade 8 can answer this one. This question, that is something I'm confident about. The learners I have taught in grade 8, they can answer this one. Okay. So identify the structure above. What is that structure? So obviously, guys, this is an atom without you frustrating yourself. And why are we saying this is an atom? Because we can see the protons, because we can see neutrons, because we can see electrons. And how do we identify electrons? Electrons are on the outer shell of the nucleus, right? And the electrons, the protons and neutrons are inside the nucleus. Okay. Now give 3 reasons visible in the diagrams to support your answer. Okay, basically, this is what I've said. You see how easy that is. So you identify it, it's an atom. And why are you saying it's an atom? So 2.1.2. Because you can see protons, you can see electrons, you can see neutrons, and also there's this shell, the orbital, right? So you can also mention that, but you can only mention 3 reasons. That is like free for marks, guys. Right. Then 2.1.3, indicate the charge of the parts A and C. Again, guys, even a child in the senior phase can answer this. If you look at A, so these are electrons. So electrons are negatively charged. If you look at C, the C, these are neutrons, and neutrons, they don't have a charge at all, right? Fine. So that's what you write. You got your 2 marks, then you're out. So already, now you've got 6 marks in this question that you have got, that you have secured, right? Then name the type of the ion that will be formed when the following occurs. Okay, 1. Part labeled A, so that is the electron, right, is removed and only 1 remains. So what will happen? Like, what type of an ion will be formed? So obviously that is the covalent bond. So now that takes you back to the ionic bonds and covalent bonds, right? So now you need to now refresh your memory. Then B, one more part label A is added to make 3. So now remember we have 3 electrons here. So now if we add 1 electrons, what type of bond or what type of ion will be formed? So obviously it's an anion, right? But if we look at A, if we remove 1 and only 1 remain, then we are left with the cation. Then if we add 1, then we are left with the anion. Fine, let's continue. 2.2, the diagrams below illustrate the chemical bonding between atoms, right? Identify the chemical bonding, illustrated A and B. So look at them. Now, this takes us back to the question that we have just answered now, right? Now, look at A. Tell me what type of bonding that is. I'm going to give you a hint. We've got covalent bonding and ionic bonding. So which one is covalent bonding? Which one is ionic bonding, right? Then we've got the next one. Give a reason for each. So obviously you're gonna provide a reason why you think it's either covalent bond or it's an ionic bond, right? Then what is important now? Guys, when we are doing agriculture or chemistry in agriculture, you always need to align it. Why is it important in agriculture? So obviously, this question will always come. Indicate the importance of compound in bonding A for the following: one, agricultural industry, and two, household use. So what will happen? This is something you have done with your teacher, right? Then let's move to the next question. You have been given structures there. So give the name of the structures illustrated above. So what are those structures? Right? Then name the bond that links structure A and B. We've got a lot of bonds. Got a lot of bonds. So let us know what is that one. So now you are testing your knowledge. Not gonna be giving answers, but at the end of this section, obviously there will be answers. When structure A joins structure B, a water molecule is removed. Give the name for this reaction. What type of reaction is that one? When structure A is removed, or when structure A joins structure B, a water molecule is removed. Right? Okay, we have done this, guys. Let's continue. Identify two groups that make up both structures A and B. What are those groups, guys? So one of the things that, if you haven't answered that question, the first question, now these structures represent the amino acids, right? So the two groups that make up amino acids are the carboxyl group and the amino group. So that is the correct one. A large number of the structures illustrated in question 2.3 can be joined together in a form of complex organic compound. Name that compound. So that compound is a protein. But again, go back to your notes, take your time, answer this properly. Name 3 reasons why the compound in question 2.3.5 is important in living organism. Why is protein important? So we need protein for growth. We need protein actually for like so many reasons. Now think about those reasons. Answer that question, right? Then question 2.4, the pictures below are the examples of food rich in carbohydrates. So we've got food A and food B. All right, then after that, you have to answer these questions. Classify each of the food in pictures above in different types of carbohydrates. So now remember, with carbohydrates, we have polysaccharides, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and all those things. So you need to classify it. Which one is the correct one? Food A, is it disaccharide or is it a polysaccharide? Food B, is it a disaccharide or is it a polysaccharide? So you need to classify it. 2.4.2, write the chemical formula of the class into which food B belongs. So now this takes you back to your knowledge on writing chemical formulas. And then outline 3 functions of carbohydrates. So this is also something you have done with your teacher. What are the 3 functions of carbohydrates in animals? Why do we need carbohydrates, right? 2.5, fats and oils are collectively referred to as lipids. So tabulate now 2 differences between fats and oils. So you're going to draw a diagram, a table. You write the heading. That is very important, guys. You write the heading, then 2 columns, obviously, fats, then oils. Then you put up your rows, right? You put in now the differences. What is different between oils, what is and fats, right? right, on each of the column, then you get 1 mark each. So you're going to write 4 points there, right? 2 points each. So 2 points for fats, 2 points for oils. Differences, guys, not similarities, differences. Then you get your 4 marks. So it's 2 points by 2. So yeah, coming again to your answers, guys, you've got this. Trust me, if you're still here with me, you've got this. You can achieve this. Right, let's look at the answers. There you have your answers. Take a screenshot here, pause if you have to, write your answers down, try to mark yourself, be honest to yourself. I have put this for you guys. I am coming with paper 2, right? So again, this is the last one. So this is a good 35 marks. Good 35 marks you can think of. 35 marks that is very easy to obtain. All right. Then let's look at question 3. So again, question 3, this is soil science. So something you have done in term 3 at the end of term, not term 3, term 2. At the end of term 1 and term 2. Now try, by all means, answer these questions on your own. You have been given there 2 diagrams. So now identify the diagrams. So obviously, guys, every time you see a diagram, you must be able to identify it, right? And then you must be able to give reasons why you have identified them. So read these questions here and then try to answer them. But now, the question that I think is more interesting now to me is 3.1.5, because now you are plotting a diagram there, right? So suppose the farmer has used method in diagram A, and after weighing the amount of soil in each sieve, the results were as follows. Sieve A, 50 grams, sieve B, 30 grams, sieve C, 20 grams. Guys, those are easy marks. So you have to plot the graph now. Now, the first thing that you need to understand when you're plotting a graph is that you need to write the title of that graph, right? So plot the results obtained by the farmer on a bar graph. So you have to plot a bar graph, not a histogram, not a pie chart, but a bar graph, right? So now the first thing, you need to write your topic. So the graph showing the amount of soil in different sieves, right? Then on your y-axis now, you put in your amounts. So you can start from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? Then you start plotting. You can start with sieve A because it's 50 grams, right? Then you plot it. You can put in color if you have to, or you can just, okay, when I was studying, we're not allowed to use like colored pencils, highlighters, and all those things. So you can just plot, like put on like different patterns or whatever. Then sieve B, it's 30 grams, you plot. So sieve C, it's 20 grams, you plot. Easy, 6 marks. So now the criteria that is used there. 1, heading has got its own mark. The y-axis, like the correct subheading there on the y-axis, that is the amount of the soil now. Then you put in brackets in grams. So if you are given that in kilograms, then you have to do that as well. You put it in brackets in kilograms, then you plot it correctly. You are given a mark there. Then coming to your x-axis as well, the different sieves that you have been given. Okay, fine. You have been given now on these different, you've got sieve A, right? which is 50 grams, if B, if C. That has a mark, right? Then for you to draw now the bar graph on its own, that is another mark. So already you have got 4 marks. Then the correct marks, or rather the correct units. So for instance, you have been given these weights in like grams. So for you to put the correct unit that is in grams, then that is a mark instead of you putting kilograms, right? So that is a mark. And also the accuracy now of everything. So that is a mark on its own. So already, like, you have got that 6 marks. So this is something that you need to practice. And then you have been given a scenario here. Soil structure describes the way of the soil particles bind together into aggregates. Different structures are formed depending on the way in which soil particles bind together. Right, so 3.2.1. Name 2 factors influencing the aggregation of soil particles. So now remember, this section is all about soil. So try by all means to answer this on your own without me now. Yes, obviously at the end of each section, I'm going to put on answers, but try to be honest to yourself. Answer this properly, answer this correctly. And then I want us to move to the last section, the last question in this question 3. So again, you can take a screenshot here, try to answer these questions, but I want us to move to 3.6 because there's a calculation there. 3 marks, very easy 3 marks, guys. So these are the marks that you need to collect by all means. Make sure you've got the correct formula. So 375 grams of soil particles of soil occupies a space of 250 meter cubes, right? Now, you've got your formula, right? Now, what is the formula that you have to use there? So your bulk density is equal to the mass of the dry soil over the volume of the dry soil. So it's mass over volume. So you are calculating your bulk density. So already by putting up that formula, you already have your 1 mark. So 375 divided by 250. Already you have that 1 mark. Then you calculate it. You bring your calculator, right? So the correct answer there, let's check it. So 375 divide by 250, right? So that is 1,5 grams per cubic meters, right? Okay, then let's continue to the answer sheet. So these are your answers. You can take a screenshot from here. Be with me for this time around. Stick with me. These are your correct answers for question 3. Then we can continue to question 4. All right. So let me know if, guys, this is useful. If I can continue with the second paper, or if it's not useful, then I won't continue. So please do let me know if it's useful. All right. Now let's look at the last question. Question 4, soil science. Well, so now your question 3 as well, it was soil science, but there were different it was different concepts. So again, look at this one, go through this, read the questions properly, go to the each question, pause if you have to. When you get to this point, pause if you have to, Answer your questions, be honest to yourself. I will come with the second paper, which mostly covers work that has been done in term 3, and then we can discuss. Then be honest to yourself, guys. Share your problems with me, share your experiences with me. Then, if you are done with this, check the time that you have used to answer these questions. Then that time will actually help you. It will help you now prepare for your final examination because you have 2 hours. Is it 2 hours? Is it 2 hours, guys? Let's check at the beginning of our paper. Yeah, 2.5 hours. So make sure, test yourself, see how much time do you use to answer the questions. Then test yourself so that you are ready for the exam, so that by the time you get to your final examination, you answer everything in time. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. My name is Loki Tamaka. I truly appreciate your presence, guys, in my channel. The channel is growing. Let's not leave any student, any learner left behind. Let's share this information by all means. Let's share with the teachers. Let's share with other learners. Let's share with emerging farmers because they need this information, guys. So yeah, thank you so much. If you want to contact with me, do leave a comment on the section below. My email address is always available, and yes, my number as well. I'm also available on the social media. Yes, I'm there on the socials, but I'm not that active, guys. I am available on LinkedIn. I am available on Facebook as Lokita Sivuyisiwe Maka. Also available on Twitter, but I'm not active on Twitter. I'm hardly there. I don't show up, guys. But yes, Facebook, I'm there. WhatsApp, if you have my number, you can WhatsApp me. I'm always ready to assist you guys. And that's only if you have my number. But if you don't have my number and it's for only work related purposes, then I can give you my number, then we can talk. Yes, but not really active for the work content on WhatsApp. But yeah, I'm available on the socials, guys, and different platforms for different things. YouTube, it's all about educations. Then you'll find me on TikTok, it's something different. It's basically just me and my crazy life, and yeah, just living. Yeah, I'm also not active on TikTok and WhatsApp again. I'm not as active, but I do respond to messages because nowadays WhatsApp is like it's treated now as a professional platform. So yeah, I have my groups, my student groups on WhatsApp, and that's why I have to be active on WhatsApp. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I don't understand. If you haven't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. Please share this information with other people. This is paper 1, Agricultural Sciences, grade 11, 2019. I chose 2019 on purpose, guys, because 2020 and 2021, they were crazy years. So they were not normal years. So we are only like coming back to more normal now. So I chose 2019 on purpose. So yeah, thank you so much. Until next time.